Anyone would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance?
May I take roll call, please?
It's roll call.
Member Smith. Here. Member Martino.
Here.
Member Jensen.
Here.
Member Jakubek. Absent. Member Baird. Here. Vice Chair Grenier.
Here.
Chair Wilson.
Here.
Thank you.
Would anyone like to say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Okay, consent items. Let's see, we are on 2A to approve the order of agenda as presented.
I'd like to make a motion that we.
Make sure your mic's on, please.
I'd like to make a motion that we pull from the agenda item D.
Is
4D.
Okay,
Do you mean continue or? Oh,
No, I make a motion that we pull it. It's not, I feel as an advisory group, we don't need to have a discussion about it. I would just like it pulled from the agenda.
so that, it says recommendation on, to the city council on legal action. Luis and I were the subcommittee. I don't think we are recommending on legal action. We do have a presentation that's going before the city council, and we wanted to discuss the findings of the invoice audit, as that will be going before the council. So as far as legal action, I think that's incorrect.
I think that's what I said. None of us are here to understand that, so I don't think it's in my,
I'll second it. Aye.
That's 3-4, and against? 3-3.
Okay.
Not passed. Is there another motion?
I will do another motion. I think it's Tracy, you actually requested the invoice audit, and this is the first time we'll kind of be able to go over the results of it, the subcommittee's findings to go before the presentation. So I make a motion to keep it as is.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay.
3, 4. And against? 3 against. Motion does not pass.
And Marie, just make sure your mic's on, please.
Motion doesn't pass.
I thought John was for. Was he?
No, he lowered his hand.
You voted no. You lowered on yes and went up on no, I think. Did you vote no?
Yes.
So if it's not moved to approve pulling, then it remains on the agenda.
Okay, very good.
As a reminder, the consent items A through D,
Excuse me a minute. What was the count? I thought we were voting to remove it from the agenda.
it was 3-3 to remove it, 3-3 to have it remain.
So therefore, no action is taken, so it'll stay on the agenda.
The consent items A through D are approved in one motion.
Motion to approve the agenda as posted.
Just
The consent.
one add that on the agenda is posted, item A has been requested to be delayed. These article.
Correct, yes,
presentations, So that will not be heard today. That'll be pushed off.
Right.
Thank you.
So motion to approve agenda apart from item A.
4A.
I'll second it.
All in favor? 4. And against? 2. And that is for all of the consent items. Moving on to public comments, non-agenda. This is an opportunity for the public to address the body on items within their purview, however, not listed on the agenda. We will start with in-person comment first.
Okay, we have Denise Ellamy.
Hello, my name is Denise Elamine, and I am here to talk about the TAC committee. I ran for office in 2018, and Kim Jensen was one of my opponents that ran, and we both lost. And Kim Jensen is now a part of the TAC committee. And I'm having some issues with the TAC committee on approving money and things for agencies, just writing out blank checks. And it appears by checking previous articles that have been written regarding Mr. Jensen, he has the same response. And I just want to say that I recall you were on the TAC committee and voted for both contracts, Kim Jensen. In fact, you were on the committee when the recent marketing manager wrote the RFP for her position and then proceeded to be hired for it. I find it funny that the marketing manager job description was approved in November, even though the marketing manager was hired 2 months earlier. Going back to these contracts and your insistent refrain to move forward, my question is, move forward where? You moved forward with IDK and paid them $50,000 per month with no verification of service rendered. After that, Mr. Ken Jensen, you moved forward with the Abbey agency in which you yourself stated, use quote from independent article, that's what I'm using. Why didn't you bring up the issues with the Abbey agency contract prior to Ms. Wilson's appointment to the TAC? In fact, what improprieties, oversight, or successful guidance have you provided? You nominated yourself for the position of chair and only received one other vote. Maybe the lack of confidence in your leadership capability should be a wake-up call, because you were fired from your previous convention bureau, right? Why don't you sit back and support the leadership of your chair, since your performance thus far has left a lot to be desired? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone on Zoom wishing to speak?
I'd like to speak here. I didn't put a speaker slip in.
Okay, well,
Please come forward. State your name, please.
My name is Aaron Peterson. I own a couple of businesses in town and some properties. I've got a couple of restaurants. I'm the landlord of 35 different businesses in town. I've been here, born here, raised here. My kids were raised here, so I've been here. I was on the visitors board way back for probably 8 years. I've been on the high school board, Allen Hancock School Board, Board of Trustees at the Theater Fest. I've been around a ton. My understanding of what the TAC is a Tourist Advisory Council. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not saying that we're sliding left, right, or sideways, but we've got businesses in town that are hurting, that went through COVID. Now we got 35 inches of rain. My understanding of this board is to advise city council on what monies to spend to advertise the city. We have a valley-wide organization. We also have one that's here in Solvang. It is a Solvang Advisory Committee. I believe that there's some mismanagement that took place. I believe there's some stuff that took place 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, yesterday. I'm not 100% sure. I don't see the role of this committee, I might be in a minority, of doing an investigation to go back and find all the ills that went on. That needs to take place. But my gosh, summer's here. We've gotten through a tough winter, and we have no expenditures and no advisement to the city council. And I tell city council, I'm gonna go Monday night, tell them, spend the money that's been allocated to you. If we don't have an advisory committee that's gonna advise you, then you guys need to spend the money that needs to happen, because the summer's coming, the summer will be done. We have events, we have things that are coming up, we have seasons that come and seasons that end. We have had, the last 4 years, terrible situations with our city council, firing a city manager, firing a planning director, firing a Parks and Rec, firing our city attorneys. We're trying to right the ship. We need to move forward with advising the council on how to spend our money for tourism, because that's what we're about. That is 80–90% of our budget. I would just also say that I believe Chairwoman might want to tell folks from the audience that personal attacks are not really probably appropriate during public comment. You can certainly attack, and this is just me, I don't know Robert's Rules of Orders, but if you want to take personal attacks on one individual at a public hearing, I think it's inappropriate to do. I think that it should be done in general, and we can attack what went on in the past, but in general, not specific. My opinion, as an ex-DA, as a property owner, as someone who cares about the town and will live and die here, that's the end of it.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comments? On Zoom? Was there?
No hand.
Okay. Brad, could you do me a favor and read over the 6 rules and responsibilities for the TAC, please?
I do not have those in my
Okay.
binder. Sorry.
I'll grab those for you real quick, just so we're all on one page as far as what our rules and responsibilities are. I'll get that for you real quick.
Madam Chair, this is in reference to the comments just made.
Uh-huh.
That was public comment on non-agenda items, so the committee can respond briefly
Okay.
to comments.
Would anyone like to respond? Why grab that? No? Okay.
Moving on to discussion item B, 4B.
I'll respond.
Oh, sorry.
As far as a personal attack, I'm quite direct in the way that I speak. So I don't personally feel that I have to get up here and attack someone on a personal level. If someone feels attacked, if they're not doing their job, then that is their own consequence of inadequacy. We are going to bring up the 6 rules and responsibilities. I think one of the statements were that it was not to investigate, and it actually is. One of the rules and responsibilities is to research expenditures, research marketing campaigns, research contracts, and do the due diligence on that. So yes, it is about tourism and marketing and advertising, but I would hope that these businesses would be doing their own marketing and advertising and not depend on the city for that. I would also hope that the taxpayers would want to see it a priority that we are spending the money, but also spending it wisely. As it stands, for 2 years, we paid $50,000 per month to a marketing company without any oversight as to what that money was spent on. We then spent approximately $25,000 to $30,000 per month for the past 6 months, again, without any verification of those services rendered. And after verifying it, we found that most of the services were actually not received. So as it stands, I am in agreement that we need to move forward, but I think we also understand the climate right now and what's happening on social media and with the public image of the city, and I hope that we don't add another mishap to that. So, the rules and responsibilities. I don't want to keep you, so we'll go on to the next item, and then can I swing back to that once I've located it for you? Or do you have it?
I don't have it.
Okay.
I didn't bring my phone, so.
Okay, Anne Marie will check, thank you. Let's see. We are on 4B, discussion to review the marketing proposal from the previous marketing request for proposals.
Yes, so at the March 2nd TAC meeting, it was unanimously supported to hold a special meeting to review the 3 proposals that the city had received, along with the Abbey proposal. Due to only 5 of the 7 members being present at the special meeting, it was continued and tabled to this meeting. So since then, we've only got one of the agencies that would like to do the work for the city, and that would be TJA Advertising out of Pismo. So what's included in your packet is the original RFP that went out back in '22, and then their proposal that was in there. So I'm not sure that the TAC could make a recommendation that the city council move forward to have a negotiation with that firm, or to recommend that you go out for a new RFP or recirculate the other RFP. Those are options, but I did want to present that in the packet, that TJA is still willing to do work for Solvang. So as the TAC, you could discuss that and potentially make a recommendation to the council.
Okay, and I have a comment for that. After. Okay, got it. Anyone want to?
Yes, as I remember, the marketing agency out of Pismo was runner-up on our last
Right.
interview
That's
to Abby.
what you have in your
And-
packet, yep.
Right, and I really was very impressed with their proposal. And what I like about them is they really know the Southern California market. They've done Morro Bay, they've done San Luis Obispo. They are now currently just doing Pismo Beach, as far as I know of in our area.
I believe they're doing Pismo, Avila,
Avila.
and Avila also, yes.
So anyway, I'm very interested in to pursue them further.
I would agree with committee member Martino. I remember when we were looking at the proposals last time, they were the runner-up, and they offered a very strong proposal. And being a local company, they could be a good choice when it comes to restoring trust, which is something I think we need to do right now. Bringing in a company that's closer to our community, more ingrained. So I definitely believe that they merit looking into and understanding what they offer. So I agree with you, Committee Member Martino. TJA could be the right company.
So if there's no other questions of the staff report, then I think this would be public comment time now. Chairman.
Okay. I have one public comment, Denise Elamy. Brad.
My light's not green yet. Thank you. I'm in agreement with the previous, I think I was here when you guys were talking about them, and I just can't remember why they were number 2 and they didn't get picked. I guess I'd have to research the agenda and see which one of you council or you committee members voted against them and your reason why, or look at the tape. But I think we need to do something about trust here. We have no trust in this city any longer, and it appears to me, and I'm just a regular tax-paying, non-business owner here, that business owners they come here like they're the priority, that we're just here, the TAC is just here to make sure that their business grows. And I am not sure, I would like to have what you guys do on the TAC, because if it says that you are here to grow a particular business in Solvang, then that's something that I need to know. But I didn't think that it was here for a personal business and for people to get growth on their personal business. This is public money, and I pay into the taxes, and I don't think that it should be geared personally for just business owners. There are residents here also, and we should be considered too. So we need to get some trust building up in here, and there is a lot of going back and forth. And hey, I'm just throwing out what I see. I'm just one person, and I have the right to say whatever I want to say, and you have the right to not agree.
Thank you. Do we have any comments, any other public comments?
I don't see any hands up.
Okay. Thank you. We have Councilmember Arona, Elizabeth Arona.
Thank you. Actually, I'm coming as a member of the public, if I can.
Okay.
Thank you. My
Elizabeth
name's
Arona.
Elizabeth Arona, and I'm a resident of Solvang, and I just want to take a moment and remember that you are all volunteering your time. And I want to thank each of you for dedicating your time and your expertise in a difficult situation. So thank you for bringing the value of what you can contribute. And some of you I know were in the TAC prior to this version of the TAC who did the work of an RFP, evaluating the RFPs for this particular marketing contract expenditure, and watching some of the videos of prior city meetings, listen to you all describe how you worked to hold the city accountable and worked to hold our contractor, who in this case was Abbey Agency, accountable. So I want to thank you for that, because I think it's very important, just to echo what Ms. Denise just said, was that the city expenditures are really taxpayer money, and there are a lot of people who care about how that gets spent. So thank you very much. I do want to also, because what I see in the packets, if we're going to make comments about any of the prior RFP respondents and the disappointing results we got from the Abbey Agency, I would ask that we go back and reevaluate incomplete, or even go back to the rubrics or whatever we used to assess the various respondents and stack rank them, and do this very diligently rather than just a quick judgment on who seemed to give us a good response. I did look at those responses and compared them to Abbey, and I can see why Abbey was selected. I don't see what the stack rank was, but TGA actually had more references in airports and hotels than destination marketing. Please, we need your expertise. Please go back and do that diligence so we can move forward with understanding how much money we have to spend, that we're using it wisely, and we're using it for the right results, which is to drive visitors to our great city. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yes.
Since one of the duties and responsibilities is to make recommendations on the selection of consultants and/or agencies providing professional marketing and advertising services required by the city, and any determination of appropriate scope of work, that's one of the items.
Right.
So I'll do that one first. But so this is the TAC shall have the following duties. One is to serve in an advisory capacity for the city council. Two is to make recommendations on matters pertaining to tourism, marketing initiatives, tourism projects, and long-range plans for the tourism industry. Three is to investigate, research, and report on the feasibility of adoption or implementation of ideas and initiatives to further the city's tourism efforts and increase tax revenues and visitation numbers. Four, I previously read about selection of consultants. And then five is to make recommendations for marketing budget allocations.
Okay, and I think there's a sixth one. It may go on the next.
I'm sorry. Six. Oops.
Okay, Brad, don't scroll to
Yeah.
the wrong picture. I can.
Yeah, monitor and evaluate effectiveness of marketing and tourism programs.
Thank you. Would anyone like to make a comment? Okay.
Are
I
we
will-
going to look at just this one, or are we going to look at the packet?
Well, the other two declined to,
Stiletto did too?
no, that's the next item. This is the big marketing, the proposal that went out. So TJA, your first item, 4B, is to review the original marketing proposals from when Abby.
Does that go till June 30th then? Is that what we're looking for, is keeping this till June 30th?
Well,
Now till
you would
June
be
30th.
making a recommendation to the city council.
Okay.
And that the original contract was through for a 2-year period. So,
Can I make a recommendation then from what I have right now?
For this line item, for TGA?
Well, ours is to discuss the marketing proposal previously from the marketing request for proposals on B.
Right.
Okay? Having been part of the original selection process and having looked and having done reference checks, I do think we need an RFP out there, but right now, because I don't think people realize 50% of our general fund stems from tourism, and it does stem from tourism. And why the business community is so important and why I sit up here is because we need to make sure our businesses are healthy, that we're bringing people to town, and we do need to have something for this community. And that makes sidewalks for our community. It puts our road maintenance. It provides staffing for this community. So I do think tourism is very important for the community. If we weren't a tourism community, our taxes would be higher. So that is why it's important, in my personal opinion, and being part of the Chamber of Commerce. Just to answer, I would like to make a recommendation that we look at TGI just till June 30th of 2023 and put out an RFP for all. This is just till June. We need to do something. And that is just my recommendation, is we need to do something at this time and put out a correct RFP. But we already have somebody that had been vetted out. I personally had looked at them, and I felt very comfortable. They were my number one choice, always.
I'll make a comment.
I don't know if there I don't think there was a second on that motion.
Oh. What did you want for your motion, Tracy?
I make a motion that we, right now, till June 30th of 2023, accept TGI's proposal, and we have not known the money that we have. I think it's probably $56,000, $70,000, somewhere in there. I don't have an exact number, and let them work on that funding now till the end of June, and lets everybody put proposals in with a new RFP. We need to do something now for this community.
So I'll this committee cannot make an agreement with it. You'd make a recommendation.
We're making a recommendation only to the council, is all we can do.
Can I say something before that motion? Because we do have the next line item in which other people submitted proposals. And it seems a little bit premature to make that motion, because then we wouldn't be giving them an opportunity. I would also like to say that going back to what was done last year, I keep hearing that what was done last year was incorrect. And so I'm not sure why you would then revisit what was done last year, use it in place right now. I went back and looked at the marketing efforts for really the past 15 years. And it's been a considerable amount of money spent. I've heard from 4 people now today the same refrain of moving forward, and we need to do something immediately. Here's the thing, you guys are paying the Abbey agency, and you were paying them a considerable amount. And if you look at the effectiveness of their marketing, it wasn't there. So you haven't really had anything as of late. You've had stuff out there, but it hasn't been effective. So it would, in my opinion, be wise to maybe take a little bit of time and really put a cohesive plan together instead of just trying to put a Band-Aid on the issue, which in my opinion has been done for the past 3 years. If businesses are relying on the city, again, for their marketing, that is not the city's responsibility. The city's responsibility is fiscal responsibility over the taxpayer funds that we get, and to move forward in a prudent manner when it comes to tourism. But right now, there's a public relations issue that is heavy. And if you just get another company in here and you're not sure what our mission is, even for the past 3 months, you're going to end up in the same spot that you're in right now. And you were in last year, and then you were in 2 years before that. So as I've seen it, you guys have had to get rid of the Convention and Tourist Bureau, then IDK for fiscal responsibility, and then the Abbey Agency, a marketing manager, and now we're here, yet again, trying to just move without strategy. That's my thoughts.
So there was a motion. I don't believe we had a second on the motion. So
Can I table that motion? Ask to table it?
you could table it or you could ask to revise it.
Can I, Tracy, can I ask to table that at the moment? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to 4C. And it's discussion to review the additional marketing PR proposals.
Right. So what you have in your packet is a variety of proposals that had come in, and this was for the short term.
The interim.
It was just interim while the big project was taken care of. So there's a list of them in there. I would assume you've all read your packet. You've got one from Stiletto Marketing for public relation focus. You've got one from Islet Agency, which was social media focus, one from Julie Matthews, which was social media focus, one from the Chacao Agency, I'm sorry if I butchered that, for social media focus, and then the one from Leanne Elliott. Those two were pulled, as was the one from Merle Greenwood, but you also have one from Evie Inc. for strategic plan.
Evie Inc. pulled hers too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't get to forward that email, sorry.
all right. So the concept was to try to put something in place while we move forward with the bigger contract or whatever, if you're going to do a proposal, RFP or whatnot. So as I think I put in the staff report, these would be small enough contracts that the city manager could okay those. So if you made direction on one or two of these, I could process that and get the consultant on board. So I don't know if the plan was to try to have presentations. I see Anna Ferguson is on. I don't know that anyone else from the submitted is here, but if you wanted to allow her some time, if she would like some time, I don't know.
Sure.
We'll see.
Is it permissible for me to view this on my computer? I just didn't print it out because I don't want. Thank you.
So Anna Ferguson, did you want to comment on your proposal?
Oh, hi. Hope you can hear me. I didn't know that I was supposed to present today, so I don't really have anything. I'm happy to answer questions, but I did not prepare anything for today because I didn't know that I would actually be presenting anything.
No, it wasn't. That was not. It was just if you had anything to add to your proposal.
I know it's wordy. I apologize, but I think it's all out there. Obviously, one of the things that differentiates me from many of the people here is that I have already done these jobs for Solvang specifically. So, that's one thing right there. There's not a lot of, there wouldn't be a lot of onboarding process, so to speak, because I'm fairly familiar with everything here. And I have watched, obviously, good, bad, and otherwise, everything that's gone on since 2015, really, when I first worked with the then SCVB on a couple of events. So I'm pretty familiar with both the political landscape and the city itself and the town and its culture.
Okay. So to summarize the staff report, you've got these proposals. The plan was for an interim type do some of the type things, particularly the social media, those types of things. At this point, when this was originally presented, you still had a marketing manager. I'm the only staff that you got right now. So as I said, these contracts would be small enough that they fall under my purview, and I could okay those if this committee wanted to make those recommendations to move forward on them. So that concludes my staff report.
Anyone have a comment?
Well, for the short term, I'd like to see Stiletto be that person or that group that we take on temporarily, just to move things along. I know
Pismo Beach was very good, but I'd really like to see them, Stiletto, do some temporary work for us while we're under the circumstances that we're at. Otherwise, I think we're going to, it's going to go back to the council. And this is just for advisory. And if the council takes our advice, even on this, and they may not even take this. They may not. And they're just, if we don't show them something that we're doing, I believe if we come out of this room today without anything, we are serving no service to our city council, and I think that's wrong. So I'd like to see something happen today. So my motion is that we have Stiletto be our temporary grouping representative.
Before we take any more discussion, if there's no further questions for staff in the report, can we take public comment, please?
I have Denise Elamine.
The question is bad service of the TAC better than no service? I have a problem when you rush things and you make bad decisions just to prove a point or to move things right along. I would prefer no decision versus a bad decision that costs money. At this point, the amount of money that has been lost and spent for this tourism Solvang, we could have just given each individual business infused money, and then they wouldn't be here complaining. So why are we doing PR when we should just PAID them and move on? We're talking apples and oranges. This is Solvang. Yes, it is a tourist spot. Yes, we do want hotels. But we cannot, when we fill the beds up, we cannot make the patrons go and buy at these particular businesses or eat at these particular businesses. I understand that. But just picking a firm that will not help us do but one thing, spend my money, I'm a taxpayer, and other residents of Solvang who do not own businesses, we just pay the taxes, we reap no benefits from the tourists that come in here. Just as Tracy says, my taxes will go down or they'll go up. That's what she says. I don't know if she's ever worked for the county tax assessors. But please do not rush and make a bad decision, pass out more money just to move on and to appear that you're making a difference for Solvang tourism. This has been going on since 2019, since we had the city council who came in and disbanded and pissed off the tourism group that was in place. And they are still pissed off. Get over it.
Thank you. Have any other public comments? On Zoom? Okay,
No, I will.
yes.
I am Keith Adler, I'm a Solvang resident. I think you do have to make a decision, and just in the short term, if nothing else, you have to hire somebody to take care of social media. Social media is the most important thing out there right now, it's bringing people into this town. I think it'll also help you counter some of the negative publicity. But I think you have to do something on the short term. You know, yes, a lot of money has been wasted in the last couple of years, but we are not talking about a huge amount of money for a couple of months until beginning or end of June, whatever. I do agree that you have to advise the council, and I think that's good advice. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any other comments on Zoom? Let's see.
See any?
Okay.
ask you to help me out. So, because I'd like to speak now as a council person, can I do that? Okay. So I'm Elizabeth Arona. I'm on your council. I come to these meetings to try to learn as fast as I can what we need, how we're spending our money, what the histories have been, the interlock between the businesses and our marketing, and genuinely ask you, please, when you make this advice, and we need it, please give us the rationale. And be as specific as you can. What are we getting from the recommendation that you make? What are we asking for from those agencies? If we're going to say social media, can we be very specific what it is they're managing, which channels, which platforms, what we're asking them to do, and why we need it, and what results we expect, and why we've selected a particular agency, what it is that they're bringing to the table. Maybe it's a history, maybe it's content, maybe it's cost, but please give us the benefit of your evaluation and the expertise, because genuinely we need it, and we've got to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mike Chadsey. I was just going to say exactly what the previous speaker said. I think that, just going with a general recommendation of hiring an agency as a next step is not going far enough. I think you have to define, you're hiring an agency for what specific purpose, for what specific budget, for what specific results are you expecting, how are you going to evaluate it? You have to be, as she said, very, very specific when you go in front of the council and make your recommendation. Because otherwise, I don't know what your signpost would be. And I don't know how they would make a decision based on just, we're going to move forward with some social media. I mean, I don't know what that brings you. So I would just say she stole exactly what I was going to say. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments on Zoom? Okay. Anyone on the committee members like to comment?
I'm going to say something. I'm going to withdraw my motion. I'm going to withdraw that, seeing as I can't present right now at the moment what was asked, and I think that's very relevant to have. And I would bring that back. So, and that's fine. I'd rather do that than continue forward. So,
Can you, what motion were you withdrawing?
He was recommending hiring Stiletto.
Gotcha, okay. Thank you. Tracy?
So I'm understanding this. I think the agenda was set up wrong. We should have done the short term first and then looked at the long-term marketing request proposals, what I think. And so I don't think I understood. Having worked with some of these organizations and I looked at what the numbers fall out to. They fall out less than $20,000 for the 3 months. And I think Stiletto has it, and the ILS agency has what they want for social media. These are two companies that we had very good impact to the community and very good impact to the tourism community for the city. And I'm understanding, just so I understand this correctly, who has pulled out of here? Has Matthews pulled out?
No.
No, but they're
Start-
not here. And the other one is not here either today.
Let me interject, Tracy. They didn't necessarily know to be here today.
Yeah, we didn't require them.
Okay, so we didn't require anybody to be here today, but it's on the agenda kind of for us to help make a
Review the
decision.
proposals.
To review the proposals. Okay, I did go through everything, and I did go through that. I think I'm just not trying to work with the city and trying to work with everyone and be up here and be a good steward to my businesses, because that's who I represent, are the business community. And we need to have something. We do make an impact to the community, and I'm going to say that again. The business community makes an impact to the residents. So I am going to make a recommendation that we take the two in the front for till June 30th. We can put out proposals and RFPs, but not to do anything is wrong in this community. And it's pretty well laid out, and we can work on that this next month. But we have to do something at this time, and I do feel that way. I felt that way from the beginning. It's not my job to be an auditor. It's my job to say that it was wrong and move on. I don't have a legal mind, so I don't have that history behind me and knowledge to know everything legally, as some of my predecessors and people that, when we have the attorney in the room at the time. But I need to have something for my business community, and I represent the business community is why I'm up here. So on the short term, because I have worked with Stiletto on a short-term basis, the numbers fit within the preview of the city manager. I'm going to make my recommendation to go with the first two for social media and public relations. ILS agency and Stiletto both, and the numbers do work for the 3 months.
I'm going to say something real quick because I'm a little bit shocked from some of the comments. Especially because of who requested the audit. But this is city money. This is taxpayer money. The thing about just suggesting people for contracts without allowing others to have the opportunity to bid on that or submit a proposal, or not even considering the other two proposals, in my opinion, is problematic. The whole idea was to have proposals today in different areas, even though it did not go out for RFQ or RFP. The proposals that we received were pretty much by word of mouth, which is not ideally how that should have been done, but that's what we did. So unfortunately today, we had half of our proposals pulled out. There are still 4 to 5 proposals left. And I understand if some of you may have worked with one of these companies, but there are other companies that are bidding on the same area, and we should at least give them the opportunity or the courtesy of reviewing what they submitted before just making a decision.
Tracy, did you make a motion?
Yes, I did.
I'll second that.
Three, 4 against? 3 against? Motion fails.
I will make a motion. I did look, I think there's only one company that submitted for social media, and it was a company that did the social media previously. I personally, and I think some of us did a analysis of what they did with the social media. They did a terrific job. They were responding to everyone. They actually worked this account, so they know how to work it. They know the voice to take with it. I understand hiring them because I think they're the only ones in here, and they already know how to jump in and hit the ground running. So I will make a motion to hire that company for social media on a 6-month contract, interim contract. Wait, no, we get the new money on July 1st. So that would be now, and does it have to be until the new funding, July 1st, or can it be a 6-month contract?
You can recommend a 6-month contract, yeah.
I will recommend a 6-month contract because that will take us out into December, so they can create a really good social media plan. And they can implement that quickly since they've already worked these accounts before and know. And then I think in their proposal, they also had it where they will do assets as far as video assets and photo assets. So I'll do 2 different motions for that. My first motion is that that company is hired. Sorry, I got a lot of papers over here. Trying to find their,
Which company are we talking
the
about?
social media. That's what I'm trying to find.
Was it Islet?
Is that Islet?
They've done work for the city before.
Yeah, it was the social, they handled the social media accounts before. Here it is. It may be Islet. Okay. So right now, we don't really, Tracy, you gave the city 1,000 photos, so we have those photo assets, but we don't really have any video assets or photo assets that were taken from the Abbey agency. So it would be great to be able to get that. And Islet offered not only the social media, but for a minimal added expense to do a videography content package and a photography content package, which those two packages combined is $6,200. Abbey Agency charged us $7,500 just for a 2-day visit to hang out. So I will do my first motion to hire Islet for the social media.
Can I make a comment? I don't believe we should go for 6 months simply because we're looking too far out into the future. Right now, we need somebody that's going to provide a temporary fix in the short term so we can get Solvang back on the right footing for the summer tourist season. And then we need to look at what went wrong with the Abbey agency, what's gone wrong even before that, and come up with a broader plan for how we're going to tackle that. So right now, we need somebody that we can trust, which could be Islet. And we need them for this short period of time so we can then focus on the long term. But going 6 months out means they're going to be planning for Yule Fest and for all these long-term events, and we can't be looking at that right now. We need to look at this shorter term and then ourselves research for the long term. So I would go for extending it simply to July and not going for those 6 months.
The only thing I'm going to say to that, and then if anybody, is that when you're looking at social media marketing and putting it other places, sometimes you have to put those ads and get that on ahead of time, like to do it 3 months, then trying to hire another company to jump in there for 3 months. It takes time for that learning curve. So we'd be back in this place in 3 months' time trying to review another social media agency during the high season. So that's why I totally get you with other ones, but social media is such a different animal, because if you get another company in there, then they have to transfer all the credentials over. They have to know the voice that you're using. You'd have to analyze that, and then you're going to have that hump of probably a month at least, right in the middle of your season.
Yeah, there's just a balance between not jumping right into something, into a longer-term contract, so we have to balance that, and I know that's been talked about by pretty much everyone here.
Right.
So we need to, of course, deal with the short-term and control the narrative, because we've lost control of the narrative. We need somebody to take that action, but we also don't want to commit ourselves to 6 months when we're not totally sure what the problems are and what we want in the future. That's my personal view.
I think a regular contract is like 2 years. A regular contract is 2 years, so 6 months is an interim contract. That
Yeah,
is, that's a short
Yeah.
term. Like, 2 years is typically what you do. So if we did the 6 months to carry us out to December, that would be a short-term contract.
Yeah, I understand that they're both short-term. I just personally believe that we're looking for somebody to help us till July when we can make that more final decision. That's my personal view.
Okay.
But yes, it's on. Sorry, I haven't sat up here before and used the mic, but yeah, I'd be interested to hear what other committee members think in regards to the length of the contract.
I'd like to speak. So, Alex, I agree with what you're saying, because we don't have a city manager. We haven't even gotten a new marketing manager. We're going to handcuff them, and we're going to handcuff our city council because they're already trying to do something. One person saying, oh, well, let's not have somebody, and then all of a sudden she wants to do somebody for 6 months. I just think that let's do this correctly. Let's not do it incorrectly. So let's look at this and say temporary is 2 months. July 1st is when they're going to start looking at the budgets. Let's not handcuff them. Let's just get through this. Again, this is just advice to the city council. They might just tell us, forget it. They just might say, whatever you're saying, no. They might say no to us. So I think they would say no to 6 months anyways, because that wouldn't work. So that's my comment.
I'm going to say something because,
You've been saying a lot.
yeah, I'm going to say something.
No, you need to
Please
let
censor
everyone
yourself,
else
sir.
speak. Why don't you
Please
let everyone
censor
else
yourself.
speak, too?
This is a warning. Please censor yourself. Because speaking about me in a third person, my name is Vashti Wilson. You can call me by my name.
I've been hearing that all the time.
That's great. So this combative, this very aggressive demeanor that you have toward me, sir, you have been on both councils when both councils had contracts that were not doing the work that was required. And you said not a word.
Is this a personal attack now?
You're going to let me finish, just like I let you
Well,
finish,
then,
please.
if you're going to start a
Sir,
personal
please
attacking, then I'm going to
silence yourself.
ask you to please
This is
stop.
the second time. Please silence yourself.
And what you're going to do.
Okay, so as the chair, I'm going to ask you to dismiss yourself.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's the only way.
Yes.
You know, I just want to, I've been quiet, I've got sort of a sore throat, so I haven't been saying a lot, but I really think we've got a new budget effective July 1st, correct? I think we're just trying to get through the next few months and offer some kind of advice to the city council, and Kim, you're right, they may just not agree with anything we have to say. I hear what Vashti, what you're saying. 2 months doesn't really give anybody a lot of time to get anything done, but I think we just want to kind of get through this and get to a point where we're more knowledgeable with the other proposals and the other people that are interested in this position, and just getting something in place for a couple of months so that we have time to really to find somebody appropriate and make some advice to the city council for the next budget year.
Thank you. There's been a decision that I've been going back and forth about, and I think this is the right time for it. From someone on this panel, and I'll say the name, Kim Jensen, I have received threats. I received very much a threat from your mayor not 3 days ago, where there was a witness to that, who intentionally insulted me and openly said he was insulting me and had a problem with the fact that I didn't abide by what he told me to do. There was a witness to that conversation that can substantiate everything that I'm saying. There has been a lot of fiscal irresponsibility. I am not sure how much so. What I do know is the demeanor, particularly Kim Jensen, that is experienced on here, has been experienced by me for the last 3 to 4 meetings. It's not novel. You will find at the first meeting he had no problem bringing Abby to task, even though he's the one who did the motion to hire them and never said one word before that. Ever since then, during a phone call, he told me to leave it alone and not bring this out in the public. He was the one that stated that it would make certain people in the city angry with me and I needed to move forward and let it stand, which I refused to do. And so as it stands, I am literally the one who knows anything about marketing, because your marketing efforts so far have not led you to be successful. So one would think that maybe you would take some guidance instead of coming with this vitriol and this very aggressive demeanor to me. I'm going to leave you guys exactly where I found you. I know what I bring to the table, and I don't have to stay in a place in which I'm experiencing this. I wish you well. Right now, the social media is blowing up, as I'm sure you know, and I've tried to do my best to give to the city and to give of my talent and my efforts. And I'm not getting paid for this. So I'm going to leave you where I found you, and I wish you all the best.
So Alex, as the vice chair, you will now take over the meeting.
I just ask that through the course of the rest of this meeting, that while we can all disagree with each other on specific issues, that we try to remain united, especially in regards to all the press going on. If we don't have civil discourse here, if we don't have some level of a united front, people are going to take this and construe this as a further abdication of our responsibilities. We need to work together on this, and I don't want a further twisted media narrative. So I just ask, let's all remain civil and peaceful and get along and try to find the best solution for our city. So thank you.
If that was a motion, I approve.
Well, you actually had a motion that did not get seconded for Islet, but there was no term. So I think the floor is open for other motions on this particular item still, the temporary marketing. So,
Was this Alex's motion?
no, Vashti made the motion for Islet, but did not
Oh.
put a term on it. The discussion went to term and then went somewhere else.
So there's a motion on the floor still.
Is there a motion on the floor?
There
For
was
6
a
months,
motion,
right?
but with no duration for the contract.
Okay.
Okay, can I second that motion for 3 months till June 30th? And I think that runs just about 3 months now, 2 months and 3 weeks or something.
Be May and June.
May, June, April. I think we should hire them on immediately.
Yeah, I think we probably would need a fresh motion.
Okay.
Since the motioner.
I make a motion that we hire Islay till June 30th, now till June 30th, and that is my recommendation to the city council for marketing. And we also are definitely going to need Stiletto for some press coverage. We have never taken care of our press coverage the way we should correctly, so I would make a motion that is not in Islay's, and that is in hers, and she's has done a very good job in the past, and we need some press releases with the new city manager coming out, and we need to write our own narrative. So that would be my recommendation, is for both of them now till June 30th to hire both.
What was that?
Is this two motions or
Well,
one?
Let's just stick with the first motion for just Islay, yeah.
Motion is for Islay till June
So the
30th.
question would be, that's for social media, their base package was 3,500, but there were several additives that you could put on that. If you look at the paragraph there, photography was 3,000 a visit, videography 3,200, email marketing 250 per email, retainer for social media advertising, YouTube Shorts was 250, and Pinterest video syndication was $300 a month. So, did you just want to use the base, recommend the base contract?
We do have 7 videos from Cogs and Marble and IDK, so that is in our historical property also. That is. I do think the shorts at 250 are fine. I don't want to, what this money is, I think it needs to be talked about up here with this committee that is left, and to have the discussion and have a vote on it. What we want to take off the package or on the package, and I think we all have enough marketing experience to understand what that is right now.
So do we table this and bring it up again?
No, I
let's
think
have
we can talk
discussion.
about it right now and just go through. We have a motion on the floor, but I think we just need to know what out of the contract we want from them right now.
Yeah, if you look at.
To redline it right now. It's on page 98. It was page 98 of the packet.
Tracy, you're saying we have a lot of videography available to us right now?
We have 7. We have 7 pieces of property that we own from Cogs and Marble and IDK. There's 7 vignettes that were done through the Visitor Center, through the Click Guards, and some other people that were in the videos that were done through IDK. So we do have those available. I have seen them.
Okay.
The question with photography is, do we have enough content for them to, the question is with photography, do we have enough content to effectively post on social media and have the right image out there? So that's, do any committee members have opinions on, do we need additional photography. What's the committee's view in regards to this item?
I have a comment. Let's go look back at Stiletto Marketing. Can they do the same thing that this company is?
No, they're two separate proposals when you read them on pages
Okay.
90, 97 and 98. They're two different product lines.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go please.
Well, I'm thinking that we should just go with the basic proposal without the additional package information. If we can utilize some other videos that we have, again, we're looking at 2 months, and I think this organization is going to be overwhelmed to try to get something working for us in those 2 months. So I would redline the additional packages.
Luis, I agree.
Can I just jump in here? I'm just totally inappropriate, I'm sure. But guys, Abby gave us 4 videos. They gave us.
Excuse me, could you come to the microphone, please?
Sure. I didn't know what was appropriate procedure, and I'm really sorry to jump in, but I'm trying to help get us moving forward. My understanding from the audit, and maybe the city can verify, that we actually got this content in transition or the exit from Abby. We got 4 videos from the Like Denmark campaign. We got 333 Instagram stories, Instagram reels, and TikTok videos. Do we have that content to leverage?
We got the hard drive on Monday. with
Okay,
other
so can we just make sure that you all get a chance to review it and leverage it if it's appropriate and it's usable, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think there's a motion on the table for Islay for the base package for social media. Is there a second? Is that?
Did you make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the Islay package at $3,500 a month, but I would like to add the shorts only, the YouTube shorts. That I would like to see added, because I do think those are appropriate. We have them, and I think them adding them and making things out of what we are giving them, we're going to give them 1,200 pictures. I gave 1,200 pictures to Cheryl. Actually think I had more in that package, but I paid for 1,200, and there were a few other years. Our bakeries haven't changed that much.
Does this include the hard drive we're talking about too, that we just received?
No,
This is just,
that was from Abby. The hard
okay,
drive-
all right.
We got a hard drive from Abby, too. I gave Cheryl the hard drive, and then we have a hard drive also.
YouTube is a whole different marketing platform and isn't necessarily one that we've focused on in the past. So I'm personally not sure if it makes sense to dwell on that, and maybe we should focus on Instagram and Facebook and these more traditional platforms. So I personally am against adding the additional YouTube marketing to it, but that's my view. Is there a second for Committee Member Beard's proposal or any additional comments?
Let's have a second right here. Okay?
Are you seconding?
Yes, I'm seconding.
Is there any discussion?
Is there any discussion? For a
As
vote?
is, as it is, just as is.
Okay, call for a vote.
Oh.
Islay for 3,500 plus the.
The base, I'm talking as if it's base, the base. No.
Oh.
Is the YouTube in there?
Yeah, we would need an additional motion for that. Would you like to make a motion to approve Islay, the base package?
There's a motion on the floor, it needs to
But
come off.
it doesn't have a second.
No, there's no second.
Yeah.
Not.
Okay.
So we can entertain more motions.
Yeah. Would you like?
I'll second the motion.
Well, there.
Hasn't made
so
I do.
no, there's Tracy's motion, which doesn't have a second. Would anyone like to make an additional motion?
I will make a motion that we go with Islet for the base $3,500 a month and see how it goes for the next 2 months. And that will give us time to really see what they can do for us.
Excellent. Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, let's vote.
Can I have a vote, please? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Again.
passes 5-0.
Again, this is just a recommendation, right?
Just a recommendation. I would like to go back to a second motion now of Stiletto Marketing. On there, they have done the press releases in the past for many of our organizations here in the Valley and in Solvang, and we need some not press coverage, we need some, we need to put a lid on our narrative, and we need to have our narrative out there, and I think that would be good. So I would like to make a motion to hire Stiletto, especially since you have a new city manager coming aboard, to help put that out properly and what we're doing correctly.
I'd like to second that.
And is that till July 1 also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have a second on that motion. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, Tracy.
Do we need discussion?
Yeah, is there any discussion on this motion? Oh, no. Can I have a vote then, please?
All in favor of obtaining the services of Stiletto Marketing for the remaining term to June 30th for, I'm not certain what assets that they were going to
Public relations, public relation focus,
separate from the,
2,800 a month, yeah.
okay. And is there a vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
4 in favor?
All in favor, it appears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next discussion item, unless there's any other comment that committee members would like to add. Okay, so we'll move on to discussion item 4D, please.
Yeah, this was a request to do a line item analysis of the billings from Abby, so I'm not sure there, I tried to summarize what was paid in each of the invoices in the staff report. There's a very tiny print spreadsheet that sort of addresses that same thing. I don't know if, Louise, if the subcommittee, you're the only member left of the subcommittee, if you wanted to give a report out on
Woohoo. I don't really have anything to say about this. We weren't putting together a subcommittee to propose that the city council or the city take legal action against Abby. We were trying to just provide information. I think there are some things that should be looked at, but I'm going to defer to the new city manager and let the city council decide on how they want to handle that. So I really have nothing to say.
Okay. So the item that was asked for at the last meeting was to bring line item analysis of what can be recovered and provide a recommendation to the city council to recover such items as can be recovered. So the subcommittee is essentially recommending not to pursue that, is what I understand.
I recommend that it was our job to bring it to your attention and to the city's attention that there were improprieties done. It is not our job to move forward with legal action. It is your job to move forward, the city's, and it's only a recommendation. And yes, I asked for the audit. The audit was done by an Abbey agency themselves. We had a meeting on the 15th. It didn't go as well as we wanted. I have not been part of any auditing. I just feel that it's our job to move on with this group to make sure that money is spent correctly, and that is all our job, is to be an oversight. And oversight means we found some situations and we put it back to the city's hands. And it is your job as professionals to do that.
Are there any other committee member comments in regards to this item?
Yes. I'd like to see if there's any way that we can somehow get our Solvang USA website returned to us, if possible, and if that can be worked out amicably, if that's possible through negotiations, or what we need to do, and ask our city council if they have a recommendation for us on how we can move forward. Because I'm concerned as well. We're all concerned about social media, and I think that's been our lead, that's been our,
Do you mean the Facebook page or the website?
yeah, the Facebook page, the one that I wish we had, but I think at this time we don't still.
Well, I think Ms. Wilson said it very easily. When a corporation owns it, such as the Chamber of Commerce, you must verify. You cannot just have an administrator. You must verify and accept, and I think that is what has not been done yet.
Okay, so my
That's-
point is, though, is that how can we amicably get that accomplished so we can get back on, so we can touch things up? Here we are doing everything else, but Solvang USA is where everyone goes to that. So how can we get there? And I don't have an answer.
So
But-
I think we're off the item. This
Okay,
item
no.
was the Abbey invoices, the agenda item.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry about that. I should have had that in public or final comments.
If there's no public comment or city staff comment on this item, I'm going to suggest we move on to the next one, which would be item 4E, discussion regarding the marketing and events manager position.
This was put on the agenda as a request of the chair. So I did know, we have closed the application period as of last Friday. We had 42 applicants, and so we're going through those right now to pare them down for an interview panel. But there's an item on the next city council meeting to also discuss the status of that position. So I don't know if this committee had any input as to what they may want regarding that, changes or anything like that. But I think that was the intent of putting it on agenda.
I just asked the question, are you interviewing all of the applicants or narrowing it down to a smaller pool and interviewing?
Yeah, we'll narrow it
Okay.
down to a smaller pool, and we'll have a professional marketing panel that'll work on it. So,
Are there any other questions or comments?
Just is the TAC have input or no? Is that something above us and that's just
yeah,
for council?
typically this is done through the city's process.
Okay,
Our
just
department and
be
the city
aware of that.
manager makes the ultimate decision.
Okay, which I
Direct
think-
report, so.
Yeah, since he'll be new, he'll be the one to do it.
Is there any public comment in regards to this agenda item?
Hi, my name is Denise Elamine, and while it changes, everything is so mellow now. I guess I can see when you say you shouldn't be hostile and you shouldn't make personal attacks, because after the balance is gone, you guys get along and you pass things that your agenda and what you want to do. So, hey, thank you guys so much. You guys really get along really, really well. And I just wanted to say that I'm a volunteer also. I don't work for the city. I live in the city. I pay taxes. And every day that I come up here to these meetings, I'm doing it free of charge. I'm coming up here to make sure that my tax money that I pay is spent well. And I'm just requesting that. I am not here to insult anybody. I don't think that anybody should insult anybody. Not business owners, not residence owners. That is not what I'm here for. But I have the right to express my opinion, and that's all that I get, and that's all that each one of you get, is your opinion. Your opinion does not outweigh anyone else's opinion. And just by yelling and talking down to someone doesn't make your opinion any better. So, I'm sorry that the chair decided to resign, but I can tell you, each and every one of you, I never will, because I'll never be appointed to anything. So don't worry about me ever resigning, because I show up as a volunteer, and I'm going to show up every meeting, and you can depend on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep, yes.
Aaron Peterson, Solvang. I'm hoping, and I know two city council folks are here, and I don't know if I'll be there Monday night or not, and I applaud that we're going to hire a new marketing director. I just hope that they will take your folks' input in this selection process, or one or two of you, and maybe some folks in the public. Not me, I'm not here lobbying for me. I'm just saying we need ownership in this position. From the chamber, from business owners, from you folks on TAC. Otherwise, the person might not feel that they have the full support of a committee, which they are to obviously be the primary staff member to do. So I'm hoping that City Council will take that advice. At least it's just my advice. In the past, we've done it. I've sat on committees that hired Brad Vidro. We had input from the public, and we had planning commissioners, and we had visitors board, and we had design reviewer bar members. Just so that there's some ownership of the city. We've been so divisive in the last few years. It's been awful. I'm just a believer in ownership and people being involved and very transparent. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other comment in regards to this issue? Or this agenda item? Sorry. Okay. If there's no more further comment, we will move on to committee member comments. Would anyone on the committee like to offer a comment or speak?
Yeah, we have Visit California. We need to continue to put them on our agenda for tourism and need to look at what they're doing. They have travel stories. It is free to go to travel stories at visitcalifornia.com. I have continued to say this at every meeting. That needs to be our partner. Visit SYV needs to continue to be our partner. They just went to Copenhagen. We need to work our assets and our groups, and we need to focus on what our assets are. And when Visit Santa Barbara goes down to Japan, we need to follow through with how we can gain some tourism from that too, that they just went. We need to focus on our partners and our tourism together because we bring buses. And I think we need to tell our story better from the city standpoint. What does tourism do for the general fund? I think we sometimes forget to tell that bigger story and the bigger picture on funding. But the city does a good job, and this committee has done a good job. And Ms. Wilson did a good job. She brought something to light that needed to be done, that couldn't be done, that tourism monies weren't spent correctly. But at the same time, it's always how we always interpret the next person's language. And I think we just all need to be at a calmer pace right now. So thank you.
Is there any other comment?
Yeah, I'd just like to let everybody in the community know that Hadson House will be reopening early summer. Everything's going great. It's going to be a fantastic property. They're going to be serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's going to be spectacular. So it's going to be a great property at the entrance to Solvang. Thank you.
Any additional comment? No. Okay. I'd just like to say I think it's unfortunate we lost a strong committee member, and I hope we can move forward. I know some people, there's a lot of disagreement today, and there's a lot of disagreement at the issues we're facing right now, but I just hope we can be united and work together. And I'm excited to be a part, or to continue being a part of this committee and to work on these issues. So thank you all. May I have city staff comments, please?
Just one comment that on Monday's council agenda, there's an item to discuss the TAC and the marketing manager position. So that will be on the formal agenda for the city council.
So you're saying someone has to present at the council meeting?
No.
No, okay, thank you.
Just going to let you know the council will be talking about you on Monday.
Can't wait to see the
Are there any other city staff comments? Nope, okay. Then I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Thank you. Yeah, Thank you.
Thank you.